Steele for the first Fireside Chat of the year. I'm thrilled that we are back with you doing our chat panels and educational series of classes. For those of you who don't know, I am Master Steel Toe the Blue Black. I'm the head of the House of Steele, and I'm very pleased to welcome you back. I'm joined here, as you may see, popping in and popping out, by Zeus and Titus, and I'm also joined by Boy SwitchBlade, who we will get to shortly. You can keep an eye on the House of Steele page on Facebook to see when we're having our next educational events and fireside chats and our Can We Talk series. We'd love to have you joining us, and we appreciate all of your support. Today, while we're talking, if you have any questions for Boy SwitchBlade, please feel free to drop them in the chat, and we will get to them at the end of the discussion. And once again, we're just really happy to be here. As many of you know, we took a break from activities as we dealt with the tragic loss of Boy Forge earlier in the year. And I want to take time right now just to thank all of you in the community who have been so supportive. I can't tell you how many notes and cards and flowers and food and other expressions of memorial gifts for Forge. I especially am appreciative of people who made donations in Forge's honor to the Leather Archives and Museum, which was a charity that he really believed in. If anyone would like to do some good for the community in Forge's memory, I encourage you to make a gift to the Leather Archives and Museum in his honor. I'm pleased to say his family has been extremely cooperative and generous in getting us all of his leather and kink gear, and we've already had different items that belong to him have already been auctioned off to raise money for amazing charities, and we'll continue to do that as the year goes by. But again, thank you all so much. You really showed us what community means. A lot of times people in the leather community question whether we have a community, and it is very evident that we do have a community who loves and supports us and is interested in us all being stronger and better. And that's what really counts. And that's what Forge was all about. So it's also very important. But today is not about Boy Forge. Today is about Boy SwitchBlade, who is your newly crowned Mr. New Jersey Leather 2025. And it is wonderful to have this opportunity to talk to you and to give people an opportunity to learn a little bit about you and what you plan to do with your year. So welcome, SwitchBlade.
Hello, everybody. Hello, sir. Hello. It's fun to be on this side of the camera. I am so excited and just so overwhelmed and humbled and grateful for all the love that has been sent since last week. It has been a whirlwind of wonderful emotions. People are amazing. The amount of requests for Dirty Josh tracks for charity we have to do it for the children. I'm here for it. This is the life now, and it's going to be fun.
Unfortunately for you, you could just grab one off the pile and hand it over to people. You don't even have to. I recommend sealing them.
Yes, Ziploc bags
to keep all that flavor,
all the freshness,
all the flavor in there. I anticipate it smells like Bounty.
Of course,
a bounce,
absolutely,
game, something like that.
Absolutely, all the good stuff.
We won't even comment on all that yellow you have on today. But it is wonderful to have you here and to have an opportunity for you to talk. As you mentioned, you're usually on the other side of the camera producing. I do want to thank today's producer, who is Ironheart, and our production crew who helped us get everything ready for today, Boy Bakari and Zen. So thank you very much. And now let's dive right into it.
Oh boy, it's the interviews all over again.
Oh, even worse. Because now you have someone who's been judging you for years.
For years.
So let's see. let's start off with an easy question. In the house, we talk a lot about legacy. What it is you want your legacy to be. We talk about working toward the attainment of that legacy and our goals, personally and for the community. In one sentence, how would you describe the impact that you want to have on the community as Mr. New Jersey Lover?
You said easy question out of the gate. Okay,
There we go. That's
the easy one today.
They get harder.
In one sentence, my legacy. I really want to ensure that people feel welcome, feel safe, and feel comfortable or invited wherever I go. I want to be a safe space for folks, even when sometimes the spaces we're in are not the safest.
What does that look like?
First and foremost, showing up, being there, putting myself out there, living out loud, this Leatherman, this Pup, this Sliffy's right over here, you had to be around for the conversation. It's really about showing up and, showing out and showing support, talking to people, seeing the person in the room that may be a little shy, see how they're doing, see what's going on, because we've all been there. I was there a few years ago, it feels like an eternity ago, but walking into a space and being like, what is this? What is this craziness? So being that for someone else, to me, is really important, because there are people that may not want to provide those safe spaces. So we need to have more safe spaces than that.
Okay, and how do you think your approach will be different toward that goal as Mr. New Jersey Leather as compared to Boy SwitchBlade?
I think Boy SwitchBlade is very focused in a certain aspect of sexual health and kink, whereas for New Jersey Leather, it is ensuring that all communities are welcome: women, cis women, trans-identified individuals. There is, for us in the house, we talk about kink having no gender. For me, that's true. I need to show up in female spaces and learn and grow and be educated. I need to be in trans spaces to be learned and to grow and to educate. It's not about, I read this somewhere recently on a Facebook post, it's not just about putting words up in a post, it's actually about showing up, being there, and having the hard conversations that sometimes we'll need to have. For me, I grow in those uncomfortable conversations. And you've pushed me, and this house has pushed me. And I think as Mr. New Jersey Leather, seeing now this, as well as seeing my house patch, I think people will really recognize that I am a safe space for them. And if they are in need or in danger or worried, find me in the room. Even if I'm down on my knees, give me that tap on the shoulder, be like, hey, I need your help.
Or next.
Either
Either way.
Like the line is over there. Please take a number. Yeah. 42, serving number 42.
All right. But because different people need different help. So we all know that Boy SwitchBlade is Mr. New Jersey Leather. But we also know that Boy SwitchBlade is only part of the package. So there was also Pup Spliffy. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about Spliffy and what people can expect if they see Spliffy out and about.
So some of y'all saw it on Friday. We were at the bike shop, that lovely little outside terrace that we like to call it. There was a lot of flogging going on. There was some impact going on. That's where Spliffy is. I hear a flog, I hear a whip, I hear something hit in the body, and all of a sudden I'm like, arr! And I just, I dart. I find that sound, and that's what makes Spliffy's tail wag, is that idea of pleasure and pain. That I'm inflicting pleasure to someone, but they're finding so much pain in it. It turns me on so much, and it makes my little nub of a tail, I don't have a big tail, but I have a little nub of a tail, it makes it wag so hard.
And what was tell us a little bit about the process of meeting Spliffy and Spliffy's development.
So I think there is, with SwitchBlade, there is a little bit more of a nurturing aspect. There is a little bit more of a care aspect. Whereas Spliffy is, I'm going to check in on you to make sure you're good, but I'm going to keep beating you until we say red or until we know the session is done. Whereas SwitchBlade, SwitchBlade wants to do a little more sensual stuff. For me, finding Spliffy was hard, actually. I had so many thoughts about the hood and pups and all of that before really being educated. And one big lesson that, you and the house has always taught us is we have to try. We have to try it to see if we like it. And if we like it, great, we'll roll with it. If not, we can say we tried it. It wasn't until I put on the hood that I was like, oh, this is kind of comfy. I kind of like this. This feels like a safe space. It didn't fit well, but it was okay, but it was good. I needed that experience. And then when I found my hood, when I found Spliffy, it just went on and it felt like, I don't know, Spider-Man's something suit that comes from the hood and goes all the way down to the body. The persona felt complete at that point.
And I know that Spliffy is a sadistic pup. I have more rolled up newspaper around the house just in case than I ever planned to. So, but besides being sadistic, what kind of pup is Spliffy?
Spliffy is a stoner, hence the name Spliffy. If you never gotten the reference or if you've had question as to why Spliffy, a spliff, another form of a blunt. And if you see me outside places, it's probably not a cigar I'm smoking. So that's kind of where Spliffy came. But other than that, Spliffy loves to be cuddled. I am a big old lap dog. I swear, if you all know Zeus, and if you all that don't know Zeus and are meeting Zeus today, that's basically Spliffy when he's not being sadistic. He is taking naps. He is finding feet to cuddle up on, going down hard, trying to get on laps, and just a goofball. I love to laugh, and Spliffy definitely has those traits to him too.
Okay, so far today, folks at home, if you're keeping score, on laps and on knees. If those two are on your bingo card, you are winning.
Check.
If prayer meeting was there,
we're going all four corners.
Not
folks. All four
so much. Do you identify as a specific breed?
I do. I am a Staffy, a Staffordshire Terrier. We are small in stature, but a little bit on the muscular body. I like to call myself a little slim thick sometimes, maybe a little less on the slim, but more on the thick side, but that's okay. It's a spectrum, folks. It's a spectrum. So I am a Staffy, and if you ever see any of those videos, catch me in a Zoomie, and they're just move out of the way. Just move out of the way.
Well, you can identify as slim. I'm identifying as fitting in this vest today. So how did you decide to compete? Like, talk us through the decision process of now I think I'm ready or I want to compete.
Two things happened. One, being present at last year's contest sparked a idea of I could see myself one day being up there and enjoying this and really being participating and being a part of this community. It was still a year ago and I was still learning, probably growing still. And then seeing Yellow and Beth win and seeing what they've done over this past year, and also seeing what other title holders and other production companies and other states have done. To me, this is a working title, and I love to do the work. I want to be a part of the work. I want to lift something. I want to make it go smoothly. I want to be part of it. So I said, what better way to show my appreciation and love for New Jersey and New Jersey Leather family than to put myself forward and try to represent this organization as best as I can with who I am. And it worked.
Yeah. Everyone was fooled. So let's talk about the legacy of the New Jersey Leather title. Everyone knows I am a part of the New Jersey Leather family. I love my New Jersey Leather family. Shout out to Daddy Sal and Loyal for all the work they do, and all the previous Mr. and Ms. New Jersey Leathers who have done amazing jobs representing the community, just loving on folks, making people feel welcome. I know it's not a stretch seeing a pup in yellow on stage and then seeing yourself on stage, but talk a little bit about the weight of the New Jersey leather title, having looked back and seen some of the amazing leather folk who have carried that title.
It was a lot of pressure. It's a lot of shoes and a lot of work that has been done and has been started. Whether it's Sinner Sundays or the Beer Bust or having representation at Asbury or New Jersey Pride, there are so many things that Daddy Sal and Loyal and all the New Jersey family have put together and put out that, to me, it feels home. And I feel super proud to be part of a home, being part of the house, being part of New Jersey Leather family. We don't, and I've said this before, we don't get to choose our families all the time, but when we do, it works to our benefit. I have probably never been more happy than I have been since joining Leather and joining Kink and really expressing myself. And doing this contest was a way for me to push myself so hard, but so needed, that I am amazed in what happened. I'm confused on what happened. How did this really happen? Like, how did it all come together? But win or lose, the work is still going to get done. Mm-hmm. And that work, regardless of with this title or not, the New Jersey Leather family is known for that. And the more we can do for our community, the more our community will love us back. And that is a platform that I could not support more.
How different was the actual process of competing than your initial thoughts about competing when you first had the kernel of an idea that I am going to compete?
I was like, I can do this in a day or two. This will be fine. I'll put some clothes on and walk across the stage and smile. It was night and day of what I thought a contest was. I've had the privilege of being judge's boy and tally master before, and it's one thing to look at that aspect. If I'm a judge's boy, my job is the judges, making sure that they are taken care of, making sure they are serviced, making sure everything goes well for them, because there's so many different parts of a contest and production teams. This was a different focus. This was, guess what? My focus is everybody else's focus is on me. There were so many eyes from the minute I stepped out of my room to the minute I went to sleep that were on, and it was intimidating. It definitely was, but the work done into it made the contest so much more fun and so much more easy. Being prepared, I think, for anything we do in life, whether it's a job, a meeting, a job interview, all that stuff, the preparation that is done before is really the key to success. Because once you're prepared, you can just show up as you are and be you. And that's hopefully what I did, and people liked it.
What was the hardest part of your preparation / in what area did you have to grow most to be prepared to compete?
I was in my head a lot. I used to be a very doubty person. There are still times when I doubt myself, but that voice inside my head has definitely become less prevalent and more, we know you're there. We're going to acknowledge that that's a feeling, but we're going to move on because we know that you are this. You can do that. You are prepared for this. So that for me was a big awakening, that I had to make sure that everything everybody did for me, whether it's my panelists, hey y'all, thank you so much. There's so many to name. Everyone that was preparing me made it hard. So this way, when I actually got into the rooms, it was easy. That push before made me become aware of my feelings, became aware of my doubtiness, became aware of the things I needed to work on. Somebody shouldn't find that while they're on stage. If you are, that's a hard thing to navigate when you're in front of all these people. So having that preparedness before and knowing that this is the whole me, prepared and for the world to see, was wonderful.
What was more intimidating? Your first mock panel interview or the actual interview?
Both were equally frightening. My mock panel, I think, more so than the actual interview. And shout out to my 8 judges. Y'all were wonderful and asked me amazing questions. But I think because my first mock interview was my first time really having the spotlight on me and being asked the direct questions and be expected to answer a certain way without knowing how to answer. That was rough. And after that first panel interview, I felt beat down on myself because I didn't answer the question correctly. I took too long. There were all of these things, and you had said it perfectly. You're like, okay, now we know what's going on. Now the next one will be better. And that's the thing, is we have to work towards that. And it was work.
Excuse me, gentlemen, I can hear your phones. So how did your experience as a boy and as a member of the House prepare you for the contest?
How long do we have to list? The most important 2 aspects for me. One was doing things wholeheartedly, doing everything with full intention, doing everything with these past 2 years that I've been collared, these past 3 years of being involved in the House and knowing about the House. They have taught me foundationally how to be this leather man that you see, leather person, or I always say man, leatherman. No, leather man. Leather man.
It is man.
Y'all, the New York, New Jersey accent, it messes us up sometimes. But all of that helped me prepare, I think, for this ability to educate people, to go out there and be kinky and to be proud and to be out loud and to mentor people. I've had the pleasure of having Ironheart. And this morning we had a family meeting and it was talked about. Now I get to mentor a community in a way. And that's a huge weight on the shoulders. But I feel so prepared because of everything that you and the House has taught me and prepared me for. It's lessons that sometimes feel like it could take years, but we crammed into a very short amount of time. And for me, it's been nothing but growth in the best direction.
So since you joined the House, and actually before, I mean, you've been to international contests. As you mentioned, you've been judge's boy and you've been tally master at a number of contests. You've been to campgrounds, you've been to national events, regional events. What do you think is going to be different about those experiences now that you have this title?
I have a glimpse of how, and I say that because when we show up with a patch, there's this level of expectation that people know about our House and expect from us. And now with this is a whole next step level of people may not know who I am, but they know Mr. New Jersey Leather. They know that title, they know that organization, they know that production. And there's a level of expectation that is there as well. So now I got to be not only excellent, but even more excellent, but it doesn't feel pressured. It feels natural and it feels right in the way that I welcome it, because I want to talk to people. I want to hear everybody's experiences. I want to hear those whips. I want to hear those floggers. I want to hear those things. This is what excites me and keeps my tail wagging, but also my blood pumping.
Community aside, what is one thing that you want SwitchBlade, the human, to learn, develop, or experience in the next 300 and whatever 65 minus 9
minus 9 is? Yeah. I think I really want to grow as an educator. I want to be able to provide more classes. I want to be able to go out there and spread messages of sexual health and of pup play and of building, legacy and all the things that we have been taught. I never want to be the type that is labeled as a gatekeeper of information. If I have information, I want to share it. I want everyone else to share it. So while it's not about community, for me, the educational piece is a way that I can make sure that when I am gone or when my title is over and I'm a WUSI at that point, people can still remember, oh, I remember that class that SwitchBlade did. I remember that Zoom that they did. I remember this piece of information that was helpful to me. It doesn't need to be the entire 45 minutes or an hour of a presentation that somebody appreciates. If there's something that they got, run with it. And that makes me feel accomplished.
What's the kinky thing you want to develop in the next year?
Ooh, I want to see more kink being done at places. I want to see the availability of folks to feel free to safely and have the space to do it. If somebody is feeling like, oh, I see a candle and some wax play and there's a negotiation happening and there's comfortability and there's availability, let's do that. Because that is an art form that any kink is an art form. And whenever there's a space to show off that art form, newbies are going to see it and be like, ooh, what's that? I want to learn more about it. And for us that may know about it, it's a good show and it's a good time and it's sexy and it's hot. So I definitely want to have a little bit more kink and more fun out there when we can. And
I'll repeat the question. What is the kinky thing that you...
Oh, the kinky that I want. If it was up to me, we'd be, there'd be a lot of yellow everywhere. Just, as my dad up yellow says, it's the yellow wave. For me, more kink, it's the yellow wave. He doesn't flag, but I do. It's, it's okay, Dad. The kink for me, I would love to see. There's so many. I'm going through the color wheel. I would love to see more bondage. I remember seeing Beta Pup Marble at one of the New Jersey Sinner Sundays last year, just by the pool getting tied up beautifully in some gorgeous rope and everything looked great. I want to see more of that. So for me, I want, let's tie up more people.
I'm down for that. I think
there's always ropes somewhere.
So during your preparation process, what is one thing you learned about yourself?
One thing I learned about myself was I can do things regardless of failure or not. If I it reminded me that I can do all things if I'm putting my all into it. There are times during work and things like that where I don't want to be doing some of the things I got to do, but I know I got to do it because I got to get paid. And if I don't do them, then I won't get paid. And that's a whole other story. But for me, within kink and leather, because there's so much passion and curiosity behind it, it's an amazing experience and it's an amazing thing. So that for me, for sure, is one.
Thank you. Okay. How do you handle stage fright?
You would never know it, but I am petrified on the inside. Shout out to baby brother Bakari. Last year, not this year, the year before, MAL, Onyx Gear Show. Shout out to Minion. Right before we were about to go on stage, I looked at Bakari and I said, Bakari, I don't want to do this. And that is me literally every time I'm about to do something in my mind. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Why am I doing this? What made you think you could do this? Run as fast as you can. But, and I almost said, I tried to almost run with Bakari attached to me. But it's in that moment of fear, and I say fear with air quotes, it's that feeling that I have, that then the adrenaline kicks in and says, no, you got this, go out there. It happens every time I'm getting on a box for dollars. It happened before I was getting on stage.
Yes.
The dogs are talking today.
Yes. The pups are out of control.
Go figure. At every moment that there is a big thing, I find myself in that space of like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. But that then gives me the power to then go out and do it anyway.
Okay, so at the contest, you were judged in several areas. You were judged at the meet and greet to see how you interacted with the judges and the crowd. You were judged in an interview. You had your pop question, and your fantasy scene, and your speech. What was your favorite part of the contest?
Oh, the meet and greet. Meet and greet was so much fun. It was that moment that I entered the meet and greet and they gave us the contestant badge that I felt like it turned on. There were people there. There was music. It was dark. It was a bar. It was a happy place for me. And I just got to talk to people and answer questions and then get to sell raffles and put my head in crotches. And what better way to spend a Friday night? For money, for charity, for the children. For the children.
That's why we're here, for the children.
So the meet and greet, while everything was fun, definitely the meet and greet was a highlight.
And for those of you keeping score at home, he likes being in laps and in crotches on his knees for the children.
For the children, for charity.
So if you have for the children on your bingo card, you are winning. Okay. What was your least favorite part of the contest? Which doesn't mean that you didn't enjoy it.
Right.
But what was your least favorite part? Titus, come here.
My least favorite was... Actually, my least favorite, I think, was my speech. I say that because that was my heart down on paper. That was every emotion I was feeling, the feeling of fire in my stomach to fight and to do all those things. And I think what scared me about that was, are people not going to appreciate it? Are they not going to be moved by it? Are they not going to identify with it? Because then that means that, maybe there's something about me that people won't identify with or see or relate to. And we know that could possibly happen for many people. But for me, it was not only forgetting the entire speech the minute my mouth opened and the mic hit, it was gone. Felt like it was piecemealing, but it was really putting myself completely out there with my words now. And in retrospect, the love that I got from the crowd, because I heard people saying yes, and people got stood up and cheered. And I thank you all for that, because that means that my heart was there and people saw it, felt it, and embraced it.
I would also say that was your best part of the performance. I wasn't there for your interview, but from your on-stage moments, I would say that was your shining moment. You've spoken before openly about your body image and how go-go dancing, walking in the Honest Gear show helped to help you to embrace your body more. Do you feel like having to do the speech, having to go through all of these interviews when you're really just talking about who you are and who you'll be for the community has helped you to be more vulnerable in that way?
Oh, absolutely. I hate the spotlight being on me at all times. If it was up to me, I would be like a lurker, like Reese. Who be Reese? You be Reese, Reese. You be Reese, babe. I was saying babe and Reese all at the same time. That's what we're doing here. I know what he's about to do.
Add that to your bingo card. If you have SwitchBlade or babe on your bingo card,
or Breeze,
you are winning. Or Breeze. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Breeze.
No, I totally lost my train of thought.
That's what happens when you start thinking about Breeze.
That's what happens when I start thinking about Breeze. I'm sorry.
But you lurking in corner
spotlights, that's hard for me. Because then when you're in the spotlight, people can see all your flaws, all your greatness, everything about you. I had to reconcile my flaws with myself before I could actively put them out there for the community to judge me on. Everybody's judging us anyway, whether we ask them or not, or whether we're paying them to or not, or putting them at a dais. But because I reconciled a lot of those body image things and how I look, and body dysmorphia, if you will, I then can go out there and say, okay, you don't like it, but these 10 other people like it. And I'm here for these 10 other people.
Okay, so if you're keeping score at home, it's lax, no nuzzling crotches for the children.
For the children.
Apparently, and now lurking in corners you can add to your bingo card. Was there any advice or that you received in the past, or any experience that you received in the past that you called on during this process to help prepare you and propel you forward?
I have to give you credit, as I always would love to do. You said to me in the beginning of this is an audition. It's not a competition. It's an audition. You are auditioning for this part of Mr. New Jersey Leather. Because there's an expectation with this title, you have to put yourself out there to see if the judges will see that you align with this message. And that, to me, flipped my mind frame so quickly and so early on that when even we became and got to the contest and having other competitors, shout out to Vin, shout out to Paolo, shout out to Cortez, I didn't feel like I was competing with them. I felt like I was going through this process with them. And it was a blast having people go through with it. I was worried about going through it alone and things like that. But then when I had those 4 for Friday and then those 3, Vin, we missed you, I'm sorry. It just really felt like, okay, we're here to have fun and we're not here to compete with each other. And we're really here to showcase our best selves because we are who we can be, and hope that the judges recognize that and allow us to be this part and be this title for this year and do greatness with it.
Yeah, I know when I competed for IMBB, my favorite part of the competition was the time I got to spend with the other contestants. Mm-hmm. That was just transformative. Hearing about their experiences, hearing about the things they were passionate about, sharing the things that I was passionate about was just absolutely the best part of it. And like you, I absolutely didn't feel like it was me against them. It really did feel like we are going to walk through this process together. Yeah. And at the end, we're all going to be better. Yeah. And that was my highlight as well. And you answered my next question. So thank you. So what was your favorite look in the contest and why? Ooh. Those of you who haven't seen the looks, you can go back through the Dragonflare production page or SwitchBlade's page, and you'll see lots and lots of pictures. While I felt and looked great in my formal, they feel real nice. My fantasy look, I think, was it. For those that I was pup hooded, I was little yellow hanky, I was a suspender harness piece attached to some leather shorts and some boots. It felt go-go-y to me. So that feeling on stage and being in this body space felt right. But also because of what was going to happen in the fantasy of dominating and being sadistic, Spliffy was on. That was Spliffy space. I was completely comfortable. Shout out to the Tempest for letting me throw you around. Because, baby, I felt good after that fantasy. Ooh, the moment upstairs, backstage, the moment I needed to have with myself, it just, but that to me, and it's interesting because that's being the look because I was literally in just some shorts, everything else bare chest and out. So that felt the most on brand for me. So if you're keeping score at home, backstage moments. Wow. If you had that on your bingo card, you were
double entendre, baby.
Absolutely doing well. Well, I mean, the kids, nuzzling crotches, sitting on laps, all of these things. The yellow wave, all
of these things.
All of these things. You're learning a lot about your New Jersey leather today. What was your favorite piece of leather gear that you wore?
I have to say these boots that I'm wearing today. If y'all can see, they are a little high top, little number. These being one, they are comfortable, they are sexy, but two, these were a gifted pair of boots from my sir. And anytime that someone feels moved to share their leather pieces and gift to someone, that makes my heart so happy, because we know our sentimental value to our pieces, and then we know that when we pass it on to the next one, we can continue its legacy and its feeling and its momentum. I'm sure these boots have walked and seen some things and had some things on them, and that just means I want to continue that, and I want to get them dirty and then get them clean and get them done and rock them and show how proud I am, and again, how comfortable I am walking with them. Keyword, comfortable.
Not a word we hear a lot in leather.
No, especially with boots.
Shout out to Felix, who always makes me look good, but has never made me feel comfortable.
He never asks us, how are you feeling comfortable? Never a question.
It's always how I feel about how I look that I focus on. But shout out to Felix, who was also one of your sponsors for the event.
Hey, Felix, I'll see you soon.
Hey, Felix, FM Leather in Queens, if you're looking for amazing leather and an amazing experience as well. Do you want to shout out any of your other sponsors? Because many people contributed to the journal.
There were so many, particularly around basket items. First and foremost, to our dear departed brother, Boy Forge, to the state of donating pieces and items such as a
Sporan.
Thank you. That's what that was called, the Sporan. Leather cuffs, a flogger, a hanky, just all things that were personal to him that now, again, in this feel, if this idea of legacy can now be used on by somebody else, and hopefully they will just be as whorish as Forge will be with it. I hope the feeling of whore becomes you when you use these items, because the whore is strong with you, my friend, and it definitely was.
I can attest, because I know who won that basket, that the whorishness will continue and will level up, and we are very grateful to that.
Yes, so definitely to our dear departed Forge, to his estate. Northeast Leather, not Northeast Leather, I combine things. Northeast Pet and Handler, Keystone Leather, Folsom East, Asbury Park Leather, Amazon, because the many things that we bought off of Amazon, Anubis, Bonafide, thank you for all the pins and all the pup stuff that you gave to us.
And submitting to flogging. Shout out to Bonafide. Those are other people.
Echo, we have to have a conversation, because I heard some flogs were happening and I wasn't there. Echo, we're gonna talk. Who else? I feel like there was so many more. I said Echo and Alexa Echo happened. Got it. That's what was happening here. Who else? I think that's everything. If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry, but I truly think that was everything. And Home Goods for the amazing baskets that we bought.
Well, they took money for that.
Well,
so
yes, sponsor.
Last question from me. I heard we have audience questions as well. Okay. So last question from me. What advice would you give someone who is thinking of competing in a leather contest?
I've been asked this question already 3 times this week since running and winning. Prepare yourself for a marathon. It is longevity. It's not anything that you can take a day or two to do. It's everything from your application to your looks, to your interview, to your presentation, to your storyline. All of that has to be taken into account. And when you can tailor it to you and all of the positive and the strength that you have, you will just shine even more. And it was because I had all those things being prepared for and really refining that I feel like I had the most success. So again, to anyone that is thinking about running, make sure you know that this is work to do, and find you a team that is going to help you do that work and push you and support you and cheer you on. Don't do this alone. It is probably the hardest thing to do, and if you add in alone. But if you can, have a team. Have people that support you and love you to do it. as I did with you, sir, in the house, and everybody that helped me. That support, I will never be able to pay you all back, except hopefully shine and be great and have people sing our praises because we're out there doing work.
Additional question that popped in my head as you were talking, so thank you for adding this question. Talk a little bit about the financial part of competing, because obviously there is no requirement for anyone to spend a lot of money to compete and everything, but we also know leather isn't cheap and is also isn't free. If you guys know of any free options, please feel free to drop it in my messenger, Steel Toe Scrivener on Facebook. But talk a little bit about that and maybe some hidden costs that people may not anticipate, so that people have an idea of what they need to prepare for moving forward.
Oh, 100%. I think in total I spent well over $2,500 in some preparations of things, and that was on formals, that was on leather, that was on items for the gift basket, the auction, the actual basket itself. You don't think of these things when you're initially running. So what I would say is, as you are preparing, save little by little as you can, get that running list of things going for you, and then when you can, get them, cross them off your list, and keep it going. And I think we did that gratefully and wonderfully, that I knew I needed garment bags for my clothes. Got it, check off the list. We got it from Amazon. It arrives in 2 days. Let's move on. It's really being prepared the best you possibly can. And financially wise, you know, I hope Felix is enjoying his Malibu house from what we spent. But I didn't see it as a bad financial burden, because to me, the payoff was going to be great. Win or lose, the payoff was going to be, I got to shine and I got to express myself and I got to look really good on stage and feel really good and feel powerful. So to me, there's no dollar amount to that, but save and when it all, coupon as much as possible.
And I mean, you also come out of the weekend with beautiful leather that you can pull out and wear.
Absolutely.
Again and again. And that if you take good care of it, you will have for a long time. Shout out to the bootlegs who keep everyone looking good and leather healthy. One thing I will also add to that, just because you talked about the importance of a team, and that's important from an emotional standpoint, and getting feedback and different viewpoints and physical help with things. You know, you need a handler and who's going to help you with all of these things. You need a lot of those things, but having a team that can also help you. You know, people are always saying things like, "Oh, you're running. Let me know how I can help." You can donate to my gift basket. You can help offset my costs, because some of the costs you didn't mention, you know, are gas and tolls, and then hotel, and all of those expenses, eating while you're there, the cocktail you need at the end of the day. All of those things cost. So it's very important to let people know how they can be very helpful to you.
Start an Amazon wish list. That was probably one of the biggest things that helped me as well, starting that Amazon gift list and people seeing and be like, hey, I got this, check it off your list. Just those little ways can go. And again, $5 goes a long way when you're trying to get a gift basket, because that's a spool of ribbon, that's some tape that you need. That is everything that can prepare you.
It's the garment bags. It's the
new laces for your boots. It's the rags that you need to clean things. It's the hangers. It's
the bribes. The bribes for the judges.
The bribes for the judges.
It's
really a lot of work.
I mean, if you have your bingo cards, you know the work. I understand. I heard there's a question. Do you mind reading it out loudly?
Yep, there's a couple of questions. So this question is from Alyssa, head of the Still Maidens. Can we redo clothespins for charity?
With the caveat that I get to take them off. Thank you. Hi, Alyssa. Hello, Keystone Leather. Hello, Daddy Paws. Hello, Jordan. Hello, Pepper. And all of the Steel Maidens.
Yes, we can have 5 clothespins being knocked off of me for charity for children.
We'll start at 5 today. And so what I heard was yes, we can have clothespins, which will be knocked off for charity. So that's very good.
Next question from Reese Diamond. What advice do you have for those who are new to leather, fetish, BDSM, and are unsure of where to begin?
So what advice do I have for some newbies in BDSM, leather, kink, and this community? Walk into a space with a very curious mind and an open mind, but know your boundaries. Know your safe place. If you are getting super overwhelmed, if you are feeling that something is not right, that's okay. There will be more events. There will be other opportunities. Get your toes wet and then come back. Get the foot wet. Come back. Get up to the ankle. Or if we want to use fisting, get your fingers in, then your knuckles, then your wrists, then the fork. It's baby steps. We can't expect to be thrown into something and be completely comfortable. And some people can, and that's great, but not everybody does. So I would definitely say, if you're in that moment and you're feeling overwhelmed, recognize that and say, okay, I did great for today. Let's try this again the next event. Hey, when's the next event? Let's come back to that. It can be overwhelming because, you see little groups of people talking to each other. You see how can I insert myself? That's why for me, it's very important. And we shout out Boy Forge all the time for this is he would always go up to the random person and say hi and introduce himself. It's in those moments that we can make people feel comfortable and feel safe. But again, if you are that person that is feeling that way and you don't have the availability of safety, that's okay. Let's recognize that and let's get you back because you did great for today.
All right. One more from Reese. During these scary Trump times, in your opinion, how can we best support the Latinx community?
Oof. Throwing the hard question there. Thank you.
Come on, Breeze.
Like any marginalized group, it's making sure that our voices are at the table and are being heard and being valued. It's been so often that we are tokenized to say, well, we have to have that one Puerto Rican at the table for diversity. It's more than that. It's yes, I am a diverse person, but my education, my experiences, my background all play into that. It's not just because I'm Latino that I should be at the table. It's because I'm Latino and kinky and educated and a sadist and all these other things that I should be invited to the table. It just so happens that I'm a proud Puerto Rican and I'm a loudmouth, but that doesn't necessarily be the only traits that needs to get me at the table. Have me at the table, have all of it at the table, have the representation of the community at the table. Because so many times, again, we are finding ourselves where I will say leadership looks a certain type of way and that leadership doesn't reflect who we're actually serving.
Good.
And that is it. I have a question.
Okay.
What's next for Puff Spliffy?
Ooh, what's next for Puff Spliffy? Let me ask him. What is next for Puff Spliffy?
For Blunt and the Nap.
That part is absolutely true because it is Sunday and it's probably a blunt o'clock somewhere. For Puff Spliffy. Hey, Puff Spliffy. For Puff Spliffy, there are more kinks that he definitely wants to learn to add to his sadistic repertoire. Whips, single tail is definitely first up on that list. We've had that conversation. And that sound, whoo, baby, makes Spliffy just feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside.
Scares Titus.
Scares Titus completely.
It excites,
but turns on Spliffy. So definitely single tail is probably my next step for Puff Spliffy.
What is the next step for Boy SwitchBlade?
Oh, the next step for Boy SwitchBlade. Definitely one, seeing me out there doing education, doing classes, doing more community volunteering. Find us at IMSL coming up this month in Piscataway. For the New Jersey Leather family, we're doing a hospitality suite. For the House of Steele, we're doing a hospitality. We're being very hospitable when it comes to New Jersey and IMSL this year. We're going to give you all great spaces. You'll find me at Cigar Socials. You'll find me at Sinner Sundays. You'll find me at The Woods. You'll find me at Keystone. You're going to find me at Philly Pet Night. Shout out to y'all from Friday. You are going to find me at these places because, one, I want to not only be there to be that safe space for you all, but I find safety in you all too when I'm around the community. And that makes me feel so loved and feel so warm on the inside.
Okay. So for me, Azure Sir, I would definitely love to thank all of the people who contributed to your process of becoming prepared, especially the interview judges. You guys were amazing and brought up so many good points to think about in all aspects of the contest. Mm-hmm. We were fortunate to have title holders, including internationals, contest producers who were able to give very good feedback. Mm-hmm. And that was absolutely amazing. And so thank you so much to all the sponsors, to all of the people who contributed expertise and wisdom and shared their experiences to help prepare. And the important thing to know in this talk is, we talked a lot about the contest. And when people think about competing for a contest, they think about it like they're competing for the contest. But like a wedding is a singular event. A marriage is different and requires different levels of preparation and patience and communication skills and listening. And we know that this title year and beyond is similar. The contest was a singular event, and we're thrilled for you that you came out of it with a stole and new responsibilities. We love that it's with the New Jersey Leather family, which is a wonderful place to be. But also we know it's really just the first hurdle in 100-yard hurdles for you this year. And we look forward to seeing what you're going to do and continuing to support you and your growth and development and also strengthen our communities. So before we go, I would just like to thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate the time you spend with us. Feel free to share this video if there's someone who you think would benefit from it. It'll be available on the House of Steele page and on our YouTube channel. I'll ask Boy Ogun, who is Alpha Boy faithfully working in the background with the production element, if he would drop our YouTube link in the chat for everyone. And there you can see not only this chat, but all of our previous chats and classes. Please continue to to keep an eye on the House of Steele page, and you'll see more events, more educational events, and more chats like this in the future. And I'd also just like to say that right now, we know that things for a lot of people are very unsettled. Those of you who followed me during my contest runs, you've seen the hashtag love leather, love each other, and love yourself. And I just want to encourage all of us that right now, more than ever, we need each other. We need to be a community that is supportive of each other. And as much as we can be helpful, whether that is a hug, a conversation, just being willing to listen to somebody who's struggling, having a hard time, validating each other, and making sure that as people are trying to strip our identities away and to demonize us, that we remind people of how valuable they are. All of these things are going to be critical to us surviving this moment and then coming out of it in a position to thrive moving forward, because we're stronger, because now we found community in places that we didn't expect to find it. So let's continue to love leather. Let's love each other. And please, please, please take the time every day to love on yourself. And with that, we wish you a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you very soon.
Bye, everybody.